Hello and welcome to this, the first of several training videos for the annual plan 2012-13. In this I'm going to try and give you an overall view of the annual planning template, what it's intended to do, how to complete it, and the various parts that you'll encounter doing so. For this video I'm assuming very little prior knowledge. Effectively we will provide each trust with an Excel template. It's about 1.5 megabytes in size. It's in Excel 2007 and 2010 formats. Most of these sheets are locked in various ways, but all input cells are colored this pale yellow, and we'd ask you to complete this and return it by the deadline, which is the end of May. For the purposes of this, I will start from the index, which says which worksheets are present. There are a large number of worksheets, but filling them in is not particularly onerous. The reason being that many of the worksheets may not be relevant to you, and some of the worksheets will only require a very few numbers to be filled in. Effectively, there are a block of worksheets that calculate how much your revenues will change. There are a block of worksheets that will calculate how much your expenses will change. There are some special purpose worksheets, and then they work together to calculate what you've seen before in either assessment models or in your modeling, a layout of the income statement and the cash flow. Some of which is calculated for you, and the rest are input cells. If I just go through the color code, the information sheet shows that pale yellow and the different shade of pale yellow are for inputs. These are for inputs of last year's figures, because this is an incremental budgeting tool. Effectively, if you put in last year's outturn of your accounts and do nothing else, this model will predict that the next 3 years will be identical. Then this color means that the value in that cell is calculated, but it's calculated from values on another sheet, and this color cell says the value in the cell is calculated from values on the same sheet. All income amounts should be positive, all expenditures should be negative, assets are positive, liabilities are negative, equity is positive. There's a materiality limit set for each template. By default this is 0.1 million. This means that any two numbers which we expect to be the same can differ by up to this figure before the template complains. Typically this will be the cash in the bottom of the cash flow and the cash in the balance sheet, which we would hope to be exactly identical, but you're given a tolerance. This gives a suggested approach to how to do this, but you can read this at your leisure. There is some color coding. These are input sheets for different areas of revenue. So CO is for community, AM for ambulance, MH for mental health, and AC for acute. The fact that we're not hiding any of them is a confession on our part that we cannot be absolutely certain which acutes have community services and which mental health have community services, and you know your business is better than ours, and therefore the sheets are all visible to you, and we do expect you to fill in the appropriate ones. Similarly, R&D revenue and employment and education and training revenue. Now, where there is a sheet calculating income, when you come to the income statement you won't be able to input information, and these grey cells will tell you it's calculated from another sheet, and if you click on one you can see that community cost and volume income line comes from the community C&V plan sheet. There are sheets on which calculate all these areas, and then there are areas in which you can place numbers in just by typing them. PFI specific revenue, expected donations. Similarly, the cost areas, drugs, clinical supplies. Most are calculated, some can be input. Right, now the green column is for prior years, and as I think I stated, the planning tool assumes no change unless you make an assumption on one of the planning sheets. So in order to have a plan for the future, you need to input your outturn for 2011-12 in this column. Please do complete it down to and including the SIPs, otherwise it will appear to us that you had no SIPs last year. Similarly, the financial position is there to be filled in, and the cash flow is filled in apart from the cost improvement plans. Sorry, the cash capex plans. Okay, so the various areas for expenses are planned in these sheets, the purple ones, and other areas such as SIPs, revenue generation, capex are planned on those sheets. The yellow worksheets at the end are more governance related. Require a report on the membership, on any elections, targets and indicators, whether you foresee any risks, your board foresees any risks, finance risk indicators, and the governance statement. And they're generally completed by a board secretary or someone working on behalf of and with the board, not in the finance directorate. The output of this is a planned risk rating in each quarter and in each year. The calculation of that is on the plan risk rating sheet. There are some tables in the summary which we use internally, which are available for you to inspect as you wish. And once the entire template is complete, we would hope that someone would fill in the cover, there'd be an authorizing signature, and it would be sent back to us. We specifically ask that you customize it by putting your own logo there. And that is a very quick run through of the annual planning template. Thank you.